I will say one of the more fun defenses for me to evaluate in this 2017 NFL draft was Michigan's. As I'm sitting there watching, and they got a number of guys with some NFL potential on there. Now, sure, guys like Jabril Peppers in particular, and to a lesser degree maybe Taco Charlton, get a lot of the attention. But they have other dudes that I think have NFL futures, and one of them is Chris Wormley, 6'5", 295 pound type of bedrock dude for that Michigan defense. Not with the eye-popping athleticism and versatility of a Jabril Peppers or the explosiveness and burst of somebody like a Taco Charlton, but a guy that I watch on film and you just feel like is a football player and a decent football player. And a guy that if he got into the right system, the right scheme, with the right team, the right coach, he might never be a big time player at the NFL level, but he's a guy that you feel like could be a starter on a quality defense and a type of bedrock foundation type of piece in terms of some of the things he can do. One of those real reliable, consistent type of guys. When you look at him at, like I said, about 6'5", 295 pounds, I gave him a 10 in terms of his grade for size, in part because I was thinking about him as either a 3-4 defensive tackle or a 3 technique and a 4-3. And either way, I feel like he's got pretty close to the perfect size for both of those positions, in particular as a 3-4 defensive end. He's not too tall where it becomes an issue. He's not too small where it becomes an issue. He's just right. And really strong, too. That's what I think really shows out on film a lot, is both his upper body and his lower body strength. Very rarely will somebody break through one of his tackles. He has the upper body strength to be able to shed blockers. He has the lower body strength to be able to hold up an anchor at the point of attack, a guy that can drive through the initial contact of a blocker, which is important because he does lack explosiveness and burst. He's got good snap recognition and anticipation skills, but he's not a twitchy athlete at all. He's more of a max effort type of guy who I feel like is always going to be a step slower athletically, who's going to have to be able to compensate in other areas, such as getting off the ball quickly, utilizing his strength, being good in terms of his technique, hustling and playing from snap to whistle and sometimes through the whistle. Never going to make a lot of spectacular plays, but could make a lot of good, solid, fundamental ones, especially as a run defender. I feel like he's a really, really good run defender. He's very hard to get back on his heels. Like I say, he plays with really good leverage, really, really strong type of guy throughout his entire body. He's got good gap discipline. He maintains his assignments. Like I said before, a very sure tackler and a really good effort in terms of pursuit and going to chase down ball carriers. Again, not the most athletic dude, but sometimes that will overcomes the lack of skill, or in this case, the hustle overcomes the lack of quick twitch muscle. Again, he plays with pretty good leverage. He doesn't have the most in terms of length, even for a guy that's 6'5", but he has enough to be able to keep linemen off his body. I think he plays with a pretty consistent pad level, continuously moves his lower body to be able to drive through blockers, which you'll see a lot of guys, and even some really good defensive linemen at college level, once they get engaged by the blocker, their legs stop moving, and Wormley's consistently move, and I really like that. Now, with that said, he does struggle, even though he should be better at it. It's something he is going to have to work on, especially with that lack of explosive burst and athleticism. He's going to have to work on shedding blockers. He does a good job in terms of his body control, but he does have a tendency to lock in and try to bull rush all the time, which I think also impacts his ability as a pass rusher. Too often he just tries to will his way and plow his way through guys, and there probably is a little more skill there. You would like to see some secondary pass rush moves. You would like to see him utilize his hands better, not to just get up and try to push somebody back, but to be able to fight, the old chicken fighting, if you will. I think, again, he's a smart football player. You see those football instincts on film. Doesn't blow his assignment very often, good at maintaining his discipline. Shows a feel for if he's not getting to the quarterback, getting his hands up in the passing lane, the antithesis of a Malik McDowell. I'm kidding. But again, a guy that is a fun watch on film because of how hard he consistently plays the game. Again, that's something I'm very big on. Now, sometimes it's nice when you pop on the film for somebody and they just wow you with their athleticism. They wow you with their instincts. They wow you with this. They wow you with their refinement as a pass rusher. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch those type of guys too. But I really like the work hard, try hard, fight hard type of guys. Because to me, if they're doing it in college, you would hope and think that they would be able to do the same type of thing at the NFL level. And those are the type of guys that really fight and work hard and play hard consistently and shows on film. Sometimes they're more prone to get early opportunities because they're more coachable. Uh, they learn their systems quicker, and sometimes they just play hard enough to overcome some of the eventual mistakes that you're going to make as a rookie. Now, this is a guy that did have a torn ACL, but that was back in 2012. He's missed some games due to injuries over the past few years, so there might be some concerns about his ability of availability. But consistent effort, I will say his production can be a little up and down. But again, I think that comes from sometimes trying to go too much to his wheelhouse, which is his strength, which is his pad level and leverage, and not doing enough in terms of his hands and having enough in terms of a repertoire of secondary pass rush moves. He's known for his work ethic. He's clean off the field. Again, one of those good, reliable type of football players, the type of guy that has some scheme versatility, I think similar to like a Derek Wolfe for the Denver Broncos. Never going to be a star, but a guy that you start thinking about middle of round 2 to middle of round 3. These are the type of guys that you take that end up being starters no later than the second year of their career, and they're productive players for you for many years. They're guys that you need in order to win in the NFL. And I think Chris Wormley is that type of guy. And you'll see my grade kind of reflects what I think the reality is of him as a player. He's an 86.0. He's kind of a mid to late second round talent. So I would say somewhere between the middle of round 2 to middle of round 3 really should be his draft range. If he falls to round number 4, a team should feel really lucky and pinch themselves because they're getting a good football player. I don't know if he'll ever be a great one, but I don't feel when I watch Wormley that I see much bust factor. The epitome of a low ceiling, very high floor type of guy.